How much information do you think is hidden inside a single photograph? When most people look at a photo, they simply see a face. But as a psychic, I experience energy and layers. To me, a photo is a doorway of information. I want to share with you one of my favorite ways to develop intuition, and that's learning how to read photos psychically. Whether you've never done any psychic work before or you've been developing your intuition for years, you may be surprised by just how much information can come through. When people hear the term psychometry, they often think about holding jewelry or personal objects. But photos can be used in a very similar way. A photo can become a focus point for your intuition. It's about noticing the impressions that come through for you. You may receive emotions, images, physical sensations, words, colors, simply a strong knowing or feelings. Everyone receives information differently, and it can vary from picture to picture. You can even do this when the photo is in an envelope and you can't see it. One of the biggest things I help people discover is how they receive intuitive information and how to develop it. The biggest mistake I see is people trying too hard. They assume intuition has to be dramatic, but most of the time it isn't like that. It is very subtle. It's often the very first impression that pops into your awareness before your logical mind starts explaining it away. I do have a workshop on this topic that I teach in person, and I can do it online, where the goal is to simply learn to trust that first impression and to deepen it. So during the workshop, we experiment with lots of different photos. I have the participants bring pictures of living people, perhaps their family members or friends, loved ones who've passed, ancestors, pets, perhaps famous people. That's always a fun one. And we explore questions like, what personality is coming through? What emotions do you feel? What strengths do you notice? What life experiences can you get messages about from this photo? What kind of energy surrounds this person? We also swap photos with other participants. We compare impressions, and we discover just how differently each person receives intuitive information. Now, this isn't mediumship. We're not connecting at a mediumship level. This is purely psychic in receiving the information through our clair senses. Some people may experience spirit communication, but we're not focusing on that. We are going to focus purely on psychic perception and how to deepen it. We're going to learn how to observe subtle impressions, how to trust them, how to build confidence in our intuition, because these skills benefit every area of psychic development. So in this workshop, and you can do this at home, practice with some fun exercises. Can you receive different information if you're holding the photograph instead of looking at it? What happens if you're sitting back to back with another participant? Can a pendulum respond when used with a hidden photo? This workshop, it's designed to be interactive, experimental, and enjoyable, and you can replicate this at home. There is absolutely no pressure to be perfect, and the more you practice and the more information you will get through. The funny thing about psychic perception is sometimes the most random things you say or the messages you get through or the impressions that you feel, the more random and the more out there, those are usually the ones that are right on the money. And sometimes the more generic stuff is not. So it's really interesting to trust what we get through, to say it anyway, and see how close we get. So whether you're completely new to intuitive development or whether you've been practicing for years, you are welcome in this workshop. I always strive for a supportive, relaxed, judgment-free environment. We're not here to get everything right. We're here to practice with each other. We're here to have fun and to help you expand what you believe may be possible. If you have ever wondered whether you have intuitive abilities or you've just wanted some practical experience rather than simply just reading about it and seeing what is possible for you to get, then I think you're really going to enjoy this workshop. I'm going to leave the registration details below for you, and I would love to see you there. Let me know in the comments how this works for you.